to Sunday. It is February the 12th. It is 3:43 p.m. in the afternoon. And today I wanted to talk about connecting with your more expanded self, or what many people refer to as your higher self. Now, there's a reason that I don't refer to it as your higher self, and that's simply because just personally, I don't put it up on a pedestal. It is me, first of all. First and foremost, it's me, and I'm not higher than myself. And secondly, it's what it does, what I believe it does, anyways. I mean, it oversees everything. It has a different perspective. It can see all the different versions of me, and it keeps track of all the things that are happening. But in my mind, that doesn't make it higher than myself. It is definitely more expanded. It definitely sees things in a more expanded way, but that does not make it higher than me. So that's why I refer to it as more expanded self. And that, honestly, to be honest with you, it comes from my mom, and I completely 100% agree with it. So this is what a lot of people, I think, out there wish to do. They want to connect with that part of themselves, and they wonder, how is it that I can do that? And connecting with that part can assist us with both astral projection and with shifting and with other things, I believe. I mean, my expanded self is amazing, and I've spoken directly to my expanded self before, told my expanded self that I loved it. Now, I refer to my expanded self as it because I don't believe that my expanded self is a gender. I don't believe it is male or female. It is all. It is everything. So that's why I'm not giving it sort of this, it's a him or a her. It is it. It's, my more expanded self. So I'm going to talk about how I got to know mine. And then maybe I hope I can maybe assist you to begin the journey of perhaps connecting with your more expanded self. I think in the end, regardless of how it ends up and what ends up happening, really this journey begins with getting to know yourself. And getting to know yourself overall I think is just a wonderful thing anyway. But let me begin with me. And so for me, I think it really started with my guides. That was kind of my first step. I started communicating with my guides. Now, again, I have done episodes and talked about this. The first time that I had a connection with my guides, I knew that my guides were out there, but I hadn't really actually directly spoken to them. And on one of my experiences, I came out of my body and I said, hey, just take me someplace cool. And one of the things that I strongly recommend folks connecting with their guide when they go out there. And that really is simply in your head, in your thoughts, speaking to them in that way. And once I emerged from my body, I just said, hey, take me someplace cool. And I was orbiting a planet, and there were all these giant spheres, and I didn't know what they were. I thought they were satellites at first. And then when I looked closely at one of the spheres, I realized that they were like dwellings. They were homes. People lived there. And it was amazing because there were countless numbers of them in orbit, and I've never seen anything like it. So that was my guides taking me someplace cool. Now, keep in mind, at this point, I still hadn't seen them. I still hadn't had contact with them in that way, and seen them with what I would perceive to be a body. Now, on one occasion, when my guide was carrying me somewhere, I said, please reveal yourself. Can you reveal yourself to me? And my guide revealed itself to me, and it was a young boy, and he had blonde hair and looked like he was 11, 12 years old. And he was telling me that he'd known me my entire life. And at the time I was in my mid to late 30s. So it was kind of strange, but that's fine. That was kind of my first real contact with my guide. And it went from there. Now, my first connection with my more expanded self is something that I talked about. Oh gosh, I made this video a while ago about what was the closest thing to heaven for me. And it was, it really began, honestly, that first connection began with me thinking about unconditional love and considering it. Unconditional love is a very difficult thing, I think, to achieve, because what it means is loving someone or something without condition, right? So it means regardless of what they've done, you love them 100%. And that was what I was contemplating in my mind when I left my body. And then I was in this place where there were walls that were forged of pure white light, and I saw the earth in miniature. It looked like the size of a globe you might see in elementary school, but it was floating in the air. And there was this being with this white robe and these glowing eyes and this perfect goatee. And he hugged me, and it was just amazing. The love I felt was completely overwhelming. It was like nothing I had ever felt ever in my life. And it was an experience I'll never, ever forget. But so that's how it kind of started. And as you can see, and I'm hoping you see this, it happened in steps. You know, first there was the guides, and then I thought about it, and I thought, would be interesting to connect with that part of myself, that more expanded part of myself. And I was thinking about unconditional love, and I went from there. Your journey is probably going to be different, but what I can tell you, or what I would suggest to you to begin this journey of connecting with your more expanded, or what many folks call their higher self, is to begin to get to know who you are. It's very interesting. There are so many people out there that, they're trying to get to know everything about everybody else, but they're never really stopping to get and really contemplating themselves and getting to know themselves. And, it's not easy. It's not easy to look in the mirror and really look at ourselves 100%, without any clothing on. I mean that as an analogy, just, getting to know ourselves in our purest form, getting to know the good parts as well as the bad parts, the loving parts as well as the rageful, the parts that are enraged and can't stand certain things, and, want to see people and, maybe want to, I don't know, punch them or something like that. And I don't recommend you punching someone, but we know that we have both those sides. We have that loving side, that giving side, and then we have the other side that's like very upset and pissed off. Excuse my language. It's got that. We have both those sides. Now, it's important to get to know and accept both of those parts. And not just both of those parts, but all of them, the jealousy, everything, the good and the bad, guys. That's how the journey begins. Getting to know ourselves 100% and accepting who we are. And, it's interesting. As you begin to do this, believe it or not, and at least in my belief, you are getting to know your more expanded self in a way, because your expanded self is all of those things. It is everything put together. Now, I don't know why it is that we have these different parts to us, why we have the good along with the bad and all these other things. That's not something I understand completely. I don't understand all the logic of it. I know that it's about us learning and really being able to, understand things on a deeper level. I think it really is also about loving unconditionally. But I don't have all the answers to this. But what I believe is that to begin to get to know that part of you is to simply lie down. Just lie down, close your eyes, and just speak. Again, another thing is I think we have a tendency to put that part of us on a pedestal. And again, that's why I don't say, higher self, because it's almost like you're putting it out of reach by saying it's a high, it's my higher self. It's like you're saying, oh, it's so beyond me. No, just lay down, close your eyes, and speak to it like you would speak to anyone. Talk to it about your dreams and what your desires are. If you want to experience astral projection, let it know. Hey, I want to experience astral projection. If you want to experience shifting, let it know. I want to experience shifting. Trust me, guys, it's listening and it knows. And after you reach out, really, truly, and I've said this before, but I really, truly mean this, pay attention to your dreams. Because I think in many ways, what ends up occurring is that our more expanded selves, it's reaching out to us. It's trying to tell us, hey, I know what's going on, and maybe it is in a way trying to assist you. But again, one of the things that I think that bugs me is so many people dismiss dreams. And they just say, oh, it's just a dream, whatever, I'm moving on. And it's not like they're paying attention, because I think what they're in their minds, they're thinking it has to go a certain way. This is the way it's going to be when I shift. This is the way it's going to be when I astral project. It's going to be A, B, and C, instead of keeping an open mind. And something I've always talked with you guys about, something I've always emphasized, is keeping an open mind. Because when you close your mind off and you think in absolutes like, this is the way this is the way that is, my belief is that you miss things, right? Things that are right in front of you, because you're thinking that it's not going to be that way. You're not going to receive the information in that way. And actually, you are receiving the information. So again, I think this is important with having experiences, with reaching out to your more expanded selves and communicating with that part. I really think that's how it begins. And again, it has been for me a long journey, guys. It's been a long journey, and it hasn't been easy. And I worked hard to get to the point that I am now. It definitely isn't. So in my mind, anything worth having is about hard work and putting in the work to be able to achieve it. So I think that's where you begin. Let's try getting to know ourselves and then going from there. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on this Sunday journey with me. And until next time, take care.